Welcome, everyone. I'm happy to have Maria Skelly, one of my dear clients and now close friends, on for an interview about her story and the amazing transformation that she's undergone over the past 6 months. So, Maria, welcome, and thank you very much for accommodating me and our little interview today. Sorry, everyone, it's just become a little more noisy than we may have had liked. But we're in the hotel lobby of the Hotel Grand Pacific. And I'm going to turn it over to you, Maria. I would like to hear the story from your perspective, from when before you and I met,
Right.
kind of the series of events that led up to you deciding that you were going to take your own health and healing into your own hands.
Okay. I had gone through 12 years, well, about 11 and a half at this point, right? Where it was continuous pain. I had a great doctor, went through every imaginable specialist, including the associate professor or whatever of neurology. And nobody could come to terms with why I was getting these debilitating pains. And they were so bad, it would take your breath away. It was just
And it was
absolutely
like
horrific.
an electric pain almost.
Yeah,
like
it was a shock. And it was like going through constant shocks the whole time. So I'd always ask the doctor every time I saw him, anything new, trying to get updated and stuff. And there was never anything that, we hadn't already tried. So I thought, well, okay, the rest of my life hasn't been written yet. So I thought, okay, I got diagnosed as being celiac. So I first read up about that and thought, okay, well, that has toxins throughout your body and that could contribute, if nothing else. So I'm thinking, okay. So the only thing, because it was so debilitating, that I hadn't done is be able to incorporate exercise. So I thought, okay, I've got nothing to lose. So I just sort of basically took a leap of faith. And I decided to find somewhere that was a smaller place to go. Because if you go to a gym, especially, I've never had good balance, never. I'm sure I passed phys ed on charm alone because it wasn't on any kind of physical talent, I'll tell you.
We know you got charm.
Well, there you go. So I knew that I'd had issues right from birth, and there was MRIs that proved that there had been some sort of damage at birth. But I'd always lived with that, and
Sure.
But these pains were only starting like when I was 45, right? So I'm like, okay. So I know my weaknesses, as we basically all do. It's just whether you're going to pay attention to them. So I thought, okay, I need something that I'm not going to run away from, because I was going to commit. Like, I didn't get as bad as I got when we met overnight.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to get better overnight. So I took that out of the equation, like that I was going to come visit you once and you were just going to wave a magic wand and all was well. Right?
Let's just sorry.
Yeah,
Let's just so that people are clear. You were on 3 opiate-based painkillers, right?
Yeah. I think they're opioids.
What were they were again?
The one was methadone. That was the one that was really restrictive.
Methadone.
And then there was Lyrica and gabapentin, and both of them don't usually work together, but we had tried all kinds of combinations. At one point, they tried oxycodone, they tried almost anything to get the pain to go, but there was never the ability to find out why. Right? It was just fixing that I wasn't in pain.
Sure.
And even that was only to a certain extent. So I came up with this idea that however bad it hurt, which is just my normal living hurt, it couldn't be that much worse if I incorporated exercise. And if it was, then I'll just live with that and see if that would be something that would make a difference. So I thought, okay, fine. So then I'd already tried some of the major rec centers, and one of them had said, I was swimming too slow, even though it wasn't a designated lane. I was swimming too slow and ruining other people's enjoyment. And rather than confronting the organization, which is what I should have done, I just never went back. So I thought, okay, small place, and I had no idea because I didn't ever go to gyms. So I thought, okay, I just went online and looked up gyms in Victoria, and the Victoria Athletic Club came up, so I clicked on it. That's okay, that looks nice. And because I wanted the gym to feel like it was something I did for me, not a punishment.
Sure.
Because as soon as it's
Yeah.
a punishment, you don't want to go.
You're entering into a negative relationship, and it's just never
Right,
going to work.
it's just like, forget it. So this one felt more like pampering than
A
that
real
type of thing.
spa.
Yeah, almost. So it's still a gym, people.
Sure.
So that's why I decided on the athletic club. Then I knew that if I got just the punch cards, I would have found a reason not to come because the pain would be too bad one day or whatever. So, and part of it, you kind of think, people are going to think you're stupid because you're going to go try this and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't tell people. I just told my husband, and he said, okay, we'll go down and see what you like and what have you. So I signed up second time I was in and decided for the 1 year. Now that's where it changed.
That was a commitment.
That was a commitment because I had said that, I knew that it was not going to get overnight success. So then that came with a free consultation. So I tried for the first month just doing my own thing, and it was just doing the same thing. And I'm thinking, I haven't got a clue what I'm doing. So I thought...
They rarely do.
Yeah, this is true. So I thought, okay, fine, I will meet with somebody and see what happens. And that's where you came in.
And so we kind of had a look and checked it out, and then
I expected you to go,
within
because I was in bad shape.
because you at that point were using a bed rail, right?
Yeah.
To get in and out of bed, and then
Yeah.
was it 3 weeks
2
later?
weeks.
2 weeks later, you take the bed rail off, right?
Yeah.
That was amazing.
And then it's just gone from strength to strength since then. And now there's nothing.
So just so people are clear, so within 6 months, so take a step back.
Okay?
The last diagnosis that you had, the medical system through the neurologist you saw said there was nothing they could do.
They recommended vitamins.
Vitamins.
Like vitamin, I think it was B12 shots and
Sure.
what have you, which I went to the doctor every week and had these shots
Yeah.
and stuff. So
And then that was it. And then 6 months, 5 months later, 5.5 months later, right?
what about first I approached the doctor
Yeah, sure.
because I wanted to see if I could manage without some of the medication.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully all, but I'd take what I could get. Excuse me. So I talked to him, and he was reluctant at first. And from his point, he saw what I'd gone through to try and find some sort of level
Yeah,
of
sure.
normalcy. So he didn't want it to be a whim of the week. So I said, fine, I will see you next time, and we'll have a discussion again. And sure enough, I went back and said, hi, I'm still doing this.
Sure.
So, obviously you can't come off medication without the doctor knowing, because I had no idea that it was that complicated, that you can't just suddenly decide to come off.
Well, the
It was
body
like-
will go into the withdrawal process.
It was bad enough even doing it the way the doctor said.
Yeah, sure.
Because it felt, especially the methadone one was horrific, because it felt like it was a vice inside, and everything was getting squeezed. And I'm thinking, oh, it'd just be so much easier just to go take it. And then I thought, no, I've come this far.
Sure.
Just persist, it will eventually go. And it did. It was only for a few weeks.
Yeah. But you weren't supposed to, but you would cut your dose in half and just be a total rebel and just do that.
Well, yeah, he said he said that I could go down to half of them in a certain order, but don't go further without talking to them. So
Yeah.
then I went back again and said, hello.
Well, hey,
back again.
That's amazing. So after 6 months, you're off all the painkillers,
Yes.
where the medical system said it was impossible. I am so inspired by this, and I feel that this is so amazing. And you've lost weight too,
Absolutely. And that's without a diet.
without a diet. So that's even if we were to. Well, you started eating kind of like adding a green to your
Yeah,
smoothie. And
absolutely.
bit, but-
And sticking to the gluten-free.
Yeah.
But just because gluten-free doesn't mean that it's nutritious. So there was, certainly a balance that was found there. But it's just been so simple, other than I just have to pay attention to what you're telling me, right? bad.
And how do you feel now, having yeah.
Now, I did not expect, like when I came off the medicines, I expected it to still really hurt, and then I would just learn how to deal with the hurt. And what shocked me, even though I'm the type of person that's kind of like, oh, let's just give it a go, was that within about a week, 10 days or so, I went like 4 hours without pain. I was just suddenly at a friend's and I'm like, oh my God, I don't hurt. And then it was only, maybe a week or two after that it was suddenly like a day. And then it got to be 2 days and 3 days. And then you'd have like a day or two that wasn't great. And then you go, like now it's up to 3 weeks. And it's like way more than I ever expected. Ever.
So after 12 years of pain, being on drugs, and that whole
intense, not just tiny bit.
Intense pain. Now you're pain-free, no drugs.
Nope. So it's all on my own terms.
Because now the thing is that we have to remember is the exercise plays a little part of it, the mindful exercise and the balancing the muscle systems. But I think that your attitude and your spirit is just amazing. And I mean, they're studying this through psychoneuroimmunology. But I think you're such an inspiring example of how a positive attitude and a positive outlook and faith and accepting the practice and practicing the movements and doing what you need to do every day produces a result that I think is profound.
Well, I didn't get the memo that said we couldn't do this. No, it wasn't until you said this was unusual that I thought, oh, all right then.
I mean, you don't typically see this. I mean, there have been cases before where we've reduced pain and stuff, but I mean, it's something so profound and so amazing, 180-degree shift. I mean, I think that this needs to be out there. People need to know that there are alternatives, and this is really the reason I wanted to have the interview, so people could say, "Oh, wow, if Maria could get out of pain, maybe I could." And also, look at she's so positive. I think you could really inspire a lot of people because of that outlook. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I hope that's what convinced me to say, "Okay, I'll do the interview."
Sure.
Was because if there is anybody out there that's gone through what I had just survived, then they need to know that.
And the great thing is you're able to ride with the tandem bike with Kim, with your husband again.
Yeah, that took some convincing because it's like everything has been such a long time that that exercise. I just shut down because it was just dealing with the pain was just more than you could handle. So,
overwhelming.
So I knew that things were going to get worse if I didn't, because then you're stopping the exercise which you need and on top of everything else. So then the list of what I couldn't do just kept getting more and more. And it's just like, no, I'm not going to live that way and then just die. So I just decided that was it. And thankfully, you come in every time we're supposed to get together and we're just like, okay. So I have no idea what kind of exercises you got in store, and I'm probably better off not knowing.
I think that's true. I just want to, in closing, I just wanted you to tell us a story about the first time Kim was so excited to get back on the bike that day. And you were going to go, what? You were going to ride, 3 minutes, and then what happened?
Okay, well, I taught...
This is not, you haven't ridden a bike in what?
About 10 years.
10 years, okay.
So I convinced my husband, because I love going on the tandem bike, and he's a real bike enthusiast, and I love him to bits. So I convinced him to go for a ride, and I thought that we would just kind of go for 5 or 10 minutes. I would have been happy just around the block, just to know that I got on the bike and that eventually, I would do more and more, because we used to commute back and forth every day using the tandem, and he would wait for me after work, and we'd just ride home together,
sure.
Right? So I had really missed that connection. So anyway, we get out there, and the next thing I know, it's like 55 minutes, people, and I'm like, I literally had to tell him when we stopped, like, just let me sort of recalculate myself,
sure.
Because it was such a shock.
That is a shock.
He just got so into, we'll just go here and we'll go there and we can work.
Hey, we're
and,
back.
So I haven't gone back on yet, but that's only because of moving.
Well, and you're able to move and help and actually participate, we worked a lot on learning how to deadlift and habituating the optimal techniques for deadlifting. And because of that, you were actually able to help your. So the other day, Kim said, "Oh, that's too heavy to move," and then he left the room. And then what happened?
Then I just picked it up and moved it.
But like a year ago,
Even 6 or 7 months
six
ago.
or 7 months ago.
And unfortunately, what happens is people look at you differently. And pain is something that you can't see, other than maybe somebody's face, a time or two. It's not like a cast or something that you can say, oh, they've got something broken. So you're very isolated because you just, you're living the pain. Even if you're with people and they're, family or friends or what have you, you're still dealing with that on top of being with these people and stuff. So just to be able to not have that anymore is
Freedom.
massive. So I don't know where the rest of the journey is going to go, but it's up from here.
It's great, and I want to thank you again for coming in
You're welcome.
and allowing me to interview and hopefully touching and inspiring many people who might have the interest in watching the video. So thanks for joining us, and we hope you enjoyed our interview, and we'll see you soon.
Bye. There you go. How's that?
That was awesome.